If you're dealing with any kind of, pardon me, hold on a moment, oh man, issue with throat mucus today, let's talk about how to get rid of it using salt. It's really simple. This is part of a series of 3 videos addressing this issue from different perspectives. So whether you're dealing with sinus mucus, inner ear mucus, tonsil-related mucus, or throat mucus, we'll dive into it. I'm not sure if you know this, but salt is really effective against bacteria, fungi, yeast, and mold. Consider this: when preserving meat, salt is added to prevent bacterial growth. Even in the process of making sauerkraut, where cabbage is fermented by bacteria, salt is used to stop the fermentation, stabilizing the product. Let me explain how salt affects these microorganisms. Take a look at my chart here. If we apply salt to bacteria, fungi, yeast, or mold, the salt concentration outside is much higher than inside. Inside, there's water, and water tends to flow towards a concentrated salt mixture. So, water moves out of the cell into the extracellular area, causing the bacteria to shrivel up, dehydrate, and die. Therefore, salt effectively eliminates bacteria, fungi, mold, and yeast through dehydration. Another interesting aspect of the salt's effects is its ability to thin mucus. Often, people experience thick mucus that refuses to leave their bodies. Well, you can use salt to loosen it up. How does it achieve that? Through the same mechanism, it extracts water from the mucus, awakening and thinning it. So we have 2 simultaneous actions: inhibiting microbial growth and killing microbes, and thinning the mucus. This is particularly beneficial for infections anywhere in your respiratory tract. You might have a postnasal sinus drip leaking into the back part of the sinuses and throat. Alternatively, there could be an ear infection with mucus buildup in the eustachian tubes on either side, ending up in the throat. Here, you're attempting to eliminate the throat infection, but it keeps originating from the ear. The source is the ear, and the effect is felt in the throat. Therefore, you need to address the origin, and if it's in the sinuses, handle that as well. This mucus could originate from the sinus, the ear, or even the tonsils, small immune glands in the back of the throat, which can swell, especially in children, becoming a source of infection. But really, the tonsils are working hard to fight off infections and protect against any invasion of microbes deeper into the body. Their intention is to create defenses, leading to inflammation and often resulting in a sore throat. Occasionally, some of the mucus may come up from the esophagus due to acid reflux irritating the esophagus, or it could be mucus coming up from the lungs. There are many different things you can do related to salt, ranging from very expensive to very inexpensive. Let's start with the least expensive option, taking a teaspoon of sea salt. However, I don't recommend using table salt because it contains many additives and anti-caking agents, and you don't know the source of the refined product. I highly recommend finding good rock salt, preserved and not exposed to pollution in oceans. Plastics and pollution in our oceans are a significant concern. Often, individuals turn to Himalayan sea salt. However, if you're considering one of the therapies I'm about to suggest, which I'll explain, it typically comes with its own rock salt. In that case, you may not want to use Himalayan sea salt due to its higher iron content. Some units also utilize sodium chloride. For instance, if you're not obtaining those units and are simply using sea salt, Himalayan sea salt is an excellent choice. Grab a teaspoon of this sea salt, dissolve it in a glass of water, and drink it down. This exposes everything in your mouth and throat to the salt. The salt also enters the body, fortifying something known as the autonomic nervous system, which specifically hones in on the fight-or-flight mechanism. It tends to enhance that. Many individuals witness positive outcomes simply from consuming some salt water. Heat the water to a certain degree to dissolve the salt, providing you with the option to drink it or employ it for gargling. Incorporating salt water into your routine can be a transformative practice, addressing not only the immediate symptoms, but also fortifying your immune system against microbial invaders. Beyond a mere drink, this elixir plays a vital role in immune enhancement and mucus management. Commencing with the fundamental step of drinking salt water, the process entails dissolving a teaspoon of sea salt in a glass of water and consuming it. By doing so, you're not just hydrating your body, but initiating a cascade of benefits that extend to your throat and immune system. This simple yet potent act exposes your oral and throat regions to the saline solution, creating an environment hostile to microbes. Moving beyond ingestion, gargling with salt water becomes the next pivotal step. This action ensures that the back of your throat receives the full impact of the seawater, serving as a direct assault on any lurking microbes. The salt concentration effectively dehydrates these microorganisms, rendering them shriveled and lifeless. Concurrently, this process kickstarts the loosening of mucus, a critical aspect in respiratory health. It's imperative, however, to approach saltwater gargles with a measured strategy. Diluting the salt in the water is key to preventing potential irritation, and the addition of apple cider vinegar further amplifies the elixir's effectiveness. Opting for a teaspoon of a concentrated and pure variant like Fairchild's apple cider vinegar introduces acetic acid into the mix. This dual-action approach not only dehydrates microbes and thins mucus, but also delivers a decisive blow to microbial populations. The nuanced art of dilution comes into play when integrating apple cider vinegar into your routine. A teaspoon in a glass of water strikes a balance between potency and palatability, ensuring you reap the benefits without undue discomfort. The combined forces of salt and apple cider vinegar create a potent concoction renowned for its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory prowess. Expanding the spectrum of options, the neti pot emerges as a valuable tool in nasal irrigation. The controlled flow of salt water through your sinuses, facilitated by the neti pot, serves as a direct and gentle intervention. This practice not only aids in mucus management, but also contributes to overall respiratory health. The sinuses, often a breeding ground for microbial activity, benefit significantly from this therapeutic approach. To sum it up, the integration of saltwater practices extends beyond a routine remedy. It becomes a holistic strategy for immune enhancement and respiratory well-being. Whether through ingestion, gargling, or nasal irrigation, the transformative power of salt water lies in its ability to create an inhospitable environment for microbes while nurturing your body's natural defenses. So the reason I appreciate that is you're utilizing this diluted salt water, which is gentle to your sinuses. You avoid using any chemicals, and it appears to effectively thin the mucus. You'll observe that when you blow your nose, a significant amount of mucus is expelled. If you experience a year-round post-nasal drip, suspect a fungal infection or some type of mold in your sinuses, as this suggests a non-seasonal issue. Ideally, you'll adjust your diet by reducing sugar intake, since sugar encourages the growth of mold, candida, and fungus. Consider performing nasal irrigation using a neti pot every other day until symptoms subside. Some individuals face problems when opting for sinus procedures or surgery, potentially damaging the delicate skin layer, housing beneficial bacteria protecting against pathogens. In another video, I discussed the application of a drop of diluted kimchi juice and a cotton swab to introduce a microbiome into the sinuses for relief, supported by substantial data. Another strategy is to employ a humidifier that transforms liquid into vapor. This is best used during sleep. Fill it with salt water, allowing it to run throughout the night. This enables you to inhale the vapor into your body and lungs, assisting in mucus thinning. Additionally, I suggest bundling up and staying warm when in bed. In addressing respiratory infections, especially when they afflict the lower or upper respiratory areas, it's crucial to recognize that many of these infections can be viral in nature. Antibiotics, often a go-to solution for bacterial infections, prove ineffective against viruses. In such instances, a strategic approach involves elevating your body temperature, essentially creating a natural fever response. This can be achieved by bundling up, getting into bed, staying warm, and encouraging sweating to intensify the body's natural defense mechanisms. This holistic approach aims not only to alleviate symptoms, but to actively combat viruses on multiple fronts. Dehydration becomes a key element, as it contributes to the hostile environment for viruses, impeding their ability to thrive and propagate. Additionally, the introduction of an acidic environment through methods like saltwater gargles and the consumption of diluted apple cider vinegar serves as an effective means of further neutralizing viral activity. Heat, another formidable weapon in this arsenal, plays a crucial role in this battle against respiratory viruses. By raising your body temperature, you create an environment that is inhospitable to viruses, potentially accelerating the recovery process. This multifaceted strategy of dehydration, acidity, and elevated temperature collectively works towards eradicating viral infections from your respiratory system. Another noteworthy intervention in this comprehensive approach is halotherapy, which offers a couple of intriguing options. For those seeking a more immersive experience, salt caves provide an environment saturated with salt-infused air, promoting respiratory health. Alternatively, halotherapy machines, resembling dry salt machines, disperse dry salt particles into the air. Typically utilizing purified sodium chloride, these machines may offer a more accessible solution, albeit at a slightly higher cost. While halotherapy machines might represent a more substantial investment, the potential benefits they bring to respiratory health make them a consideration worth exploring. The nuanced interplay of dehydration, acidity, heat, and halotherapy creates a holistic and effective strategy for addressing viral respiratory infections. Down below, I'll delve into effective strategies for addressing acid reflux. Identifying acid reflux can be attributed to digestive problems, often accompanied by heartburn or indigestion. However, the root cause may not necessarily lie in digestive issues, but rather in the sinuses or tonsils. In such cases, gargling emerges as a particularly beneficial practice. Moreover, I emphasize the significance of incorporating vitamin D into your regimen. A wealth of data underscores the correlation between enlarged tonsils in children, vitamin D deficiency, sinus allergies, sinus mucus, and ear infections. This link is especially pronounced in individuals with low vitamin D levels. Given that vitamin D receptors are distributed throughout nearly every cell in your body, including immune cells, supplementing with vitamin D becomes a logical course of action. I recommend a daily dosage of at least 20,000 IUs for optimal results. As an additional strategy, diverging from conventional vitamin D doses, consider a weekly intake of 50,000 IUs. This alternative approach concentrates the effect, potentially hastening the clearance of mucus and fostering overall respiratory health. If you're yet to explore the video demonstrating how salt can effectively eliminate respiratory mucus, I've thoughtfully included it for your convenience. This video serves as a valuable resource in comprehending and implementing practical techniques to alleviate respiratory discomfort. In conclusion, addressing acid reflux involves a multifaceted approach, encompassing practices such as gargling, vitamin D supplementation, and a nuanced vitamin D dosage strategy. The inclusion of these strategies aims not only to alleviate symptoms, but also to promote holistic respiratory well-being. Feel free to explore the accompanying video for a more comprehensive understanding of how salt can be a powerful ally in combating respiratory challenges.